Honorable Chaim Shacham, Consul General of Israel in Florida and in Puerto Rico. I am thrilled by your presence. I am thrilled by the fact that you took time out to talk to us, to explain to us what is really going on in Israel. Because as many people say, the media isn't exactly friendly to Israel, at least part of the media, if not the largest part of the media. At least it was so in other moments. But there are two words I'd like to share with everybody tonight about faith. How do you say faith in Hebrew? How does one say faith in Hebrew? Emunah. What else? Bitachon. Well, those are the two words I wrote for myself. One is bitachon. What does bitachon mean? Betach means sure. You feel that you can rely upon somebody. There is a Sar HaBitachon in Israel. That's the defense minister. But for us is Israel Betach Bashem. We have to rely on God because He has been on our side all throughout our history. Sometimes we don't feel His presence, but I am sure He always accompanies us, even when we are not so sure that He is aware of what is going on with the Jewish people. So bitachon means sure. You feel safe. But there is also another word, emunah. Where does the word emunah come from? Emunah means it is just, it is right, it is truth. You know, when we finish Shema Israel, which we should have said tonight in the synagogue in Arvit, we say Hashem Elokechem Emet. This is how Shema Israel finishes. And then we say Ve'emunah kol zot. We believe that this is so. It means that emunah is truth. And our faith is not only because we feel sure, it is also because we feel that our cause is true, that we are right. That's different. Because many people question whether it's true, whether we do have a right to stay in the state of Israel, in the land of Israel. So tonight is a very auspicious moment because of the situation in Israel, and we are privileged with the presence of Consul General Chaim Shacham. Chaim, I'd like to ask you, could you tell us who started this latest confrontation? Some say it's a war already between Israel and Hamas. What are their strategic goals? What do they want to attain by that?
This conflict is not of Israel's choosing. Every step of the way, every time there was a possibility to end the conflict and to have de-escalation, Hamas escalated it. And it's only become clear to all our strategic thinkers why it was so much in Hamas's interest to create a crisis like this now. Hamas is at the weakest point it has been since it has established its rule in Gaza. It lost its main backer, President Morsi, the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, because the Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood of Gaza. It also lost the backing of Iran because Hamas identified itself with the Sunni radical movement, and Iran is a Shiite radical movement. And it also lost the support of Syria because it sided against Assad, and Assad was one of their biggest protectors and provided them with a lot of weapons. Because of this, and especially because of what happened between Gaza and Hamas and Egypt, the smuggling tunnels, which were the lifeblood of Hamas's ability to run Gaza, were shut down. They no longer could bring in supplies, they no longer could bring in weapons, and they no longer could take taxes and a portion of all the goods that went back and forth there. and they couldn't pay anymore the salaries of the people that they were employing, and the economic situation became so bad that they decided that something had to be done. And when things are bad, what they do is create a crisis in order to gain sympathy in the Arab world and get a lot of money coming in from throughout the Arab world to rebuild Gaza after they cause a crisis. And that's what they're depending on, and that's why it was so important for them to start this war.
Mr. Shacham, many feel that the beginning of this latest confrontation started really with the assassination of 3 young boys, 2 16-year-olds and 1 19-year-old. They were captured, kidnapped, maybe tortured, and we thought maybe they wanted to exchange them for other people. But sooner or later we found, after a couple of weeks of hopes that didn't become a reality, that they were really assassinated. How can one comprehend that people should rejoice over the assassination of other young people? In the Arab world, there was great rejoicing when that happened. And we know what happened in Israel. Not only in Israel, I think the Jewish communities throughout the world were moved by that episode. Instead of feeling threatened by what happened, I think it united us more than ever. And it just shows the different conception about life and death. A man by the name of Huntington wrote Clash of Civilizations, and he said that the confrontation between the Arabs and the Jews isn't really about territory, or maybe the confrontation of the entire world isn't really about technology. It is a question of 2 separate civilizations that are now fighting against each other with 2 different conceptions of the value of human life. Will we ever be able to reconcile that?